Welcome to this week's edition of the Thursday 30. We've got Ruby here from Inspiration, and she's going to give us a quick run through of the software and what it can do. If you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat and we'll have time for questions at the end. Okay, hand over to you, Ruby. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you all for inviting me today to show you Inspiration. Apparently my name is showing up as DM in the corner, but as Mary said, my name is Ruby. I am a product specialist here at Inspiration. I'll just start sharing my screen. So hopefully you can see my presentation there for Inspiration. And I'm sure lots of you have heard of Inspiration or know some about it. Some of you might not know anything about Inspiration at all. But whatever your kind of knowledge is on Inspiration, hopefully today you'll definitely get some new tips and tricks of how to use it. I think we'll be doing an introduction, but there's really so many different ways that Inspiration can be applied to different users and different topics or uses that, you know, there's always something new to learn with it. So what is Inspiration? Well, it is a visual mapping tool. So it's used for creating lots of different visual diagrams and mind maps, for concept maps, outlines, presentations as well. So lots of different ways that it can be applied to lots of different users, topics, and so on. And we call it a lifetime tool. And this is really because in lots of our case studies, a couple of which I will show you later, and our Trustpilot reviews, and all of the users we talk to, lots of them do talk about using it throughout different aspects of their life. So they might start using it in education for those purposes, but then they start to use it in their workplace or in their personal life for organisation or different things like that as well. And it can really help them as a piece of assistive technology. It can be applied in lots of different areas of their lives to help them with their neurodifferences or cognitive challenges. Or it can be used by absolutely anyone, but especially helpful for those who will benefit from this visual way of getting ideas down, of thinking and learning. So within Inspiration, there are kind of three main views that I'm just going to quickly talk about. So we have our diagram view. Now this is our really free-form environment for creating lots of different visual diagrams, and it's highly customizable. So this means you can place things exactly where you want them, and you can really reflect whatever's going on in your mind and get those ideas and that knowledge down, and how you visualize it out onto the screen exactly how you want it without it snapping to a particular grid. And highly customizable through the mix of visual cues. So we use color, we use spacing, we use symbols as well, and we use them together with our kind of textual or verbal cues, where we have keywords and phrases, and we also have these connecting terms as well. So this diagram here on DNA, this is something that I can imagine is, is quite a complex few paragraphs if it's put into a textbook. But when you break it down into something like this, which is highly visual and much more simple to digest and understand and also share with others, it's easier to work from and a lot less daunting. You can see that it can be read like a sentence. So that's the kind of idea of a concept map. So really great for sharing with others within a class, whether that's teachers sharing it with students or within a group, for example, or to revise from as well. So that's our diagram view, highly customizable, and throughout all of these views you'll see the mix of these visual and textual cues used together, because that's really what's going to keep these ideas and this knowledge retained in our memory. Then we have our map view. Now this is simply a dedicated mind mapping environment, meaning all that means really is that this kind of structure is put in place where every branch only has one parent branch. So you can create lots of different connections like we have here. You can see these little arrows, but not quite in the same way here that we have in a concept map where it's quite a lot more complex. This is a more simplified environment. And this is really great for users who know they want to create a mind map and they want that little bit of structure in place already. So we've got that central topic and some branches set up so the user can just start placing their ideas right from the start. Some people don't like to get started with that kind of blank page that's too flexible. They want that bit of structure in place already, and that's kind of what this environment is great for. This business plan on the left here is actually one of our templates. So within Inspiration, when you open it up, there's tons of different templates available for users to get started with. So these might be subject specific or certain study skills, like for writing a particular essay, things like this. This one's from we've called it work templates, but really they could be applied to lots of different subjects as well. So, you know, if people are studying business studies or whatever it may be. So lots to get started there. Again, if users just need that little bit of structure or something in place to get started, then they're great to look at and see if there's anything relevant for their particular topic. Then our final view here is our outline view. Now, anything we do in our diagram or map view, our kind of visual view, is going to synchronize with our outline view, our nice structured hierarchical outline. So fantastic for moving into any sort of written project, essays or reports or whatever it may be. You can also go directly into outline view and just start there as well. So fabulous for people who like working kind of lists, or for just creating that bit of structure that, again, is a lot less daunting than just opening up a Word document and not really knowing where to start, or it kind of being a bit daunting. Here we can just start with a bit of a structure and start getting things down, and really lots of users can be surprised by the amount of ideas or the amount of knowledge they already have to get started with one of these projects, and then, you know, they can just keep building from there. Then from our outline view, you can you can export it, to Word or Google Docs or something like that, if that's relevant. So as I say, anything you do in one reflects in the other, and it's really useful to have both views available to you, because you might use one for revision, for example, and one for list writing or whatever it may be. So that's our kind of three main views. There's also a presentation view kind of within Inspiration, which I'll try and fit in quickly today. But that's kind of the main elements of Inspiration. So helpful for absolutely anyone, but especially helpful in supporting users who need help with that ideas generation, that initial getting the ideas out, not worrying about whether they're going to be in the final project or whether they make sense together just yet, but simply getting those ideas out onto the screen. One of our most popular tools, which I will show you, is the rapid fire tool. You turn this on, you can simply type, click enter, type an idea, click enter, and you're very quickly forming those different ideas, getting them out onto the screen. And then as a second stage, I'll just jump down here to this organising thoughts and ideas, really seeing that as a second stage to any sort of project. So you're not worrying about organising those ideas right from the beginning, but as a second stage, you can start linking up those ideas. And this is where everything starts to take shape a lot better and moving things into, like I say, whatever way works visually for that user. Great for retaining information. So we never want people to just create something in Inspiration and then never come back to it. The act of creating that Inspiration diagram itself is fantastic for helping with memory retention, but really it's most beneficial if users keep adding to their diagrams, or they're using it for revision or essay writing or whatever it may be. And this is something that they can keep building on their particular diagram, outline, whatever it is. For note taking and writing, especially in that outline view that I spoke about. Fantastic to get started, and as I say, a lot less daunting than just opening up a Word document with no real structure in place. You can get started with note taking and writing by, for example, doing a quick brainstorm in the diagram view and then flipping over to outline view. And understanding complex concepts, as I showed with that kind of DNA concept map. So something that seems quite complex or is quite complex, but when it's broken down like that, it's a lot easier to understand. So that's kind of a really quick run through of what Inspiration is. I'm going to play some demonstration videos rather than me trying to open, basically to make it easier for myself so I don't have to type and talk at the same time. I'm just going to play some videos and I'll kind of pause it and chat as we go through. So when you open up Inspiration, you'll see we've got this starter screen here, and we've got these different views that I spoke about, so we can get started with any of those. And we've got our templates available there as well. So I'm just going to go into diagram view, again, our free form environment that we spoke about. You'll see we've kind of got this main idea right in the center ready for us to get started. So I can start typing there. I can click and start typing. That's one way to start adding different symbols, but I'm just going to show you how to turn on this rapid fire tool up in the corner that I spoke about. Again, typing, clicking enter, typing, clicking enter. Now these are linked up, these different symbols, but you can choose to have them unlinked as well. And then that's a fabulous way. If you're not quite sure how you want things to be organized yet or linked up, you can just have them as kind of floating symbols. You can see this is a very flexible environment, moving things around, linking them up, hopefully quite intuitive for the user. I can start adding in these linking phrases either by typing myself, or there is a link phrase bank there as well that I can choose from. And this is really to kind of expand on these ideas and start working towards something that's becoming fully formed ideas. If, for example, I'm working towards a written project. I can add a note to each of my symbols, which can be up to 8 A4 pages in themselves. So you can really start to expand on those ideas within our notes here. Or within these, you might want to add some different like texts or links to things, PDFs, whatever it may be that's going to help you with your particular project or that you want to keep track of. So we've got the symbols palette up in the left corner here that you'll see. I can work my way through to try and find different symbols that might be relevant to me, or you can type and add them. You can bring in your own images as well. And this is what we're talking about with adding these visual cues that are really going to help make this something that is going to be easy to help us with memory retention. You'll see I just changed the background color there as well. Lots of students that and different users don't like to look at a white screen because it gives them visual stress. So we can change the background color there, and all of these things as well, I should know, can be set as default. So if there's a particular background color, font, symbols color, absolutely anything that wants to be changed, you just go up to utility here, and there's a default settings that you can work through, add your default settings, and it means that each time you go into inspiration, you don't have to change it. Let's continue here. So I can start color coding different things. One way, again, to have these visual cues. Color coding, really using these tools at the bottom to format it. Here's a more fully formed map that I've worked through, and you can see I've added things like citations, which I can add to each symbol here, which are hyperlinked as well, or I can just add hyperlinks. So this links to the inspiration 10 page there. You can hyperlink text or symbols. Now I've clicked up in the left corner where there's the outline button, and now there's the diagram button. So you can see you can just flip back and forth between your visual view and your outline view. And you can see Inspiration's created me this nice hierarchical structure, which again has this visual element as well, because you can change the colors and things like that. Yes, you'll see we can open and close different notes. If there's too much text on the screen that students find overwhelming, we can drag and drop, keep restructuring within this area that makes sense for our particular written topic. And you'll see at the bottom any citations that I added to my symbols and are now listed as an alphabetically organized bibliography there at the bottom, with any hyperlinks that I've added as well. So that's really useful. From here, I'm just going to use the transfer tool that's up in the top toolbar. So we do have now this button here, which you can just tick, this transfer to clipboard. If you tick that and click OK, this basically acts as a copy button, and then you can then paste your outline into Google Docs or OneNote or whatever you find useful. And you can see we can decide what we transfer that outline over with. So you can choose to have the diagram at the top here. If you want your notes, the indentation, things like that, you choose exactly how you want it to transfer over. If you don't tick that button and just click OK, then it will transfer over to Word. So you can see I've got my Word document there. It's transferred over with style headings as well, so really easy to navigate. And that's my diagram view into outline view. So very quick, just trying to fit everything in as quickly as possible. But that's the kind of basics of getting out your ideas, structuring them, making it kind of have that personalized element and customized element with the visuals and so on, and then moving over into an outline and into a Word document as well. So you can keep applying your ideas and your knowledge into lots of different tasks that you might need them for. Here I've got a map view document open just to show you just quickly that, you know, it works a lot like the other view where we've got our visual elements, our symbols. We can add notes and links and so on, but it's just this kind of slight bit of structure that's in place already. You'll see I've got the tick box option applied there. This can be used in any of the views, so you'll see when I go over to outline, it applies there as well. Just quickly, if I have time, I'm just going to open up an inspiration document I've got open here already as well, and just show you the kind of fourth view in a way, which is our presentation view. So I've got a diagram open here, and over in the top right, you'll see I've got a presentation button there. I can pick presentation slide settings and the particular theme that I want. So I'll just pick any there and click OK. Oh, I've got the wrong one open. Oops, sorry. Anyway, we then are given a nice presentation which Inspiration has created for us based on what we've added into our diagram. And over on the right here, you'll see that Inspiration has created snapshots for me, which I can use to quickly create a visual presentation along with my notes. So a fantastic tool really for getting started with your if you have a presentation task really quickly and creating something that's visual using these keywords and phrases. And you can see at the bottom here, any notes that I've added have been taken over as speaker notes as well. So really, really useful and a fantastic tool for getting started with a presentation. And it makes sense that if we've created a visual diagram that has all of these visual cues, that is going to help us remember things, that when we are presenting, we've got those there for us in our presentation as well. Okay, let's flip back over here. Oops. Sorry, bear with me one moment. There we go. Okay. Then I was just going to show you a couple of case studies. So we've kind of got two case studies here. We have one from a user, which I'll play first. And this was with a user called Ava, who used Inspiration. She didn't find out she was dyslexic until later in her studies at university. She finished her undergraduate degree with a grade that she wasn't happy with, but when she got to her master's, and she managed to find Inspiration by this time and use it, she left with I've forgotten the master's term for whatever the highest is. It's not a first, it's the master's version of a first. So I'm going to play Ava's case study here. Let's just start there. Hopefully you can all hear that okay. Oops.
There doesn't seem to be any sound.
So Ruby, the sound isn't playing now on that.
Sorry?
The sound isn't playing now on that. Could you stop it and restart it, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just restart the whole video, is that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think when you share your screen, it's similar, but you have to share your sound as well.
I did, and we tested it before.
Yeah, it was working earlier.
I'll play it one more time. So can you hear it?
Yeah.
You can.
Oh no, it's gone again. Sorry.
Okay. Let's try. Should I unshare and share again? Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. No, I didn't click it that time. Share. Include computer sound. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Hopefully now. Oh, it's doing it again.
that's working. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
I'm Eva Mitchell. I've just finished studying for an MSc in environmental management at Lancaster University, and I concentrated on the food security pathway. And with that, I also went to Wageningen University in the Netherlands for an Erasmus term. And I used inspiration throughout my year and a half of studying. Before I was using inspiration, I would like read all the articles or like all the abstracts, and I would decide what I wanted to do. I would go away for an hour to a lecture or something. I'd come back and it would just be, my head would just be a complete mess. I just stopped that from happening. I never felt like I was starting at the beginning again, which is what I always used to feel like. I would do all this work, I would sit down for 4 hours, really concentrating, really feel like I'd got somewhere, go away, have lunch, come back, and it's like, oh my God, like I just don't, I can't see what I've just done, I can't remember what I've done, I've got all these like just notes on a piece of paper and it just doesn't mean anything to me. And then when I did it in inspiration, it was like I could step back in time to the point where I just stopped working, and I would immediately be setting off, carrying on from where I'd like left off.
Fab, okay. Then I was going to show you a case study from a slightly different perspective. We have our Helen Simon is joined on this webinar today, and I was going to show you our case study that we did with her, where she shared lots of different ways that she found using inspiration was really useful with lots of different students, but just to hear about how inspiration is used from an SEN advisor's view. So I'll play Helen's case study as well now.
Yeah, my name is Helen Simon. I'm an SEN advisory teacher with specific interest in working with children with challenges in education. I don't like to say difficulties, but challenges, which can be anything from physical challenge, mental challenge, work with children with hearing, sight, and brain injury challenges, and work with children with dyslexia and dyspraxia. So it's right across the board. I think it's trying to get assistive technology.
Sorry, Ruby, it's a bit distorted there.
Children. So the challenges
pause and start again.
Yeah, is it the audio that's distorted?
It's just a bit laggy, I think.
Okay.
Maybe you could just start it again. Sorry.
It's okay, sorry.
Yeah, my name is Simon. I'm an SEN advisory teacher.
It's quite distorted.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll skip that one for now. Apologies, Helen. And I will link everyone at the end to our page where all our case studies are, and you'll be able to watch the video and have a look at all that, because we've got text write-ups with the videos as well, which add even more context. So I'll send that in the chat in just a moment.
Thank you.
Just to kind of, as we kind of wrap up before, if anyone has any questions, just talk about some kind of key benefits of Inspiration 10. So as we spoke about, we have those different views. So the diagram, map and outline view, as well as presentation. So it really enables the user to choose whichever way suits them, best suits their learning and thinking styles, and be able to apply it to lots of different topics and studies and throughout their life. And being able to transfer their ideas from that map or diagram view over into outline view, so that they can move into writing quite seamlessly, and it kind of acts as that first step. As I said, lots of users can be kind of overwhelmed by a writing project, but when they start with simply doing a quick brainstorm and inspiration in the diagram view, they can be kind of surprised by the amount of knowledge that they already have, or the ideas that they already have, which can set them off into outline viewing, have that bit of structure, and get started with a written project. That free-forming mapping environment in diagram view, which means that things don't just stick to the page, stick to a grid in a certain way. It means that the user can really have highly customized different diagrams. We have the rapid fire tool where you can type, enter, and all of those ideas getting out really quickly. That focused ideas generation without having to worry about organising things right at that stage. And then inspiration does integrate with lots of different assistive technology, other assistive technology like Dragon and things like that. And there's the accessibility features within inspiration as well. Just to quickly say, Inspiration 10 for Windows is our kind of main software. And this is where the kind of using inspiration throughout your life comes into play, because it is a one-off cost, unless there are subscription licenses for schools and things like that. But this is a one-off purchase. You download it onto your laptop or computer, and then you can use it essentially forevermore. Inspiration RD is our kind of Mac and Chromebook solution to using Inspiration 10 on one of those. So it is a cloud-based solution, and that is an annual subscription. And then there's also Inspiration Maps for iOS, which can be used on iPads and iPhones as well. If you want to use Inspiration in an assessment, training, demonstrating sort of role, then please get in contact if you'd like a free license or to be able to try it. We can do training for inspiration for you and your team. I was going to share the, we call it our assessor toolkit, you'll find on our page, where you can also ask for free license and pricing for your organisation as well. I will just stop sharing so that I can put this in the chat. So within here, I've just shared this assessor toolkit. And what's on this page, if I just share it actually, hopefully you can see I've got it open here, and we've got lots of different videos that might be useful to just have a quick look at or share with those who you're recommending or sharing inspiration with. If you want to book any training with us, request a free license, or look at all of our user case studies. As I say, we've got them here, and you can have a look at all of our different case studies, videos, and the write-ups as well, which are available. Hopefully we have a few minutes now for if anyone has any questions. I will try and look in the chat. Sorry about the issues with the videos, but hopefully if you are interested, you can have a look at them on the site as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Ruby. I know you had a lot to cram in there into that 30 minutes. So well
Sorry,
done.
I tried to speak slowly. So
no, well, it does so much, and it's so versatile, isn't it? So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. I think one of the questions from earlier was that question about whether it's available on iOS, which you've already answered. Does it look the same way on iOS, or is it slightly different?
It is slightly different. So it's basically for iOS, for iPads and iPhones, it's basically a smaller app version. You still have outline view, you still have the flexibility of the environment to add symbols and color and all that sort of stuff. It's just not quite. It's not got absolutely everything that the online version, the Windows version has. On iPads and iPhones on the App Store, there is a free trial version of that as well, which you can download for free and give that a go. And they do connect. So if you did have Inspiration 10 for Windows and you had it the iPhone version as well, and you create something quickly on your phone whilst you were on the go and you wanted to upload it to your Inspiration 10 for Windows on your computer, you can do that as well.
Oh, that's useful to know. Yeah, cool. And Susie's just said it looks really good and a bit more user friendly than some of the other mind mapping tools. So yeah, I'd agree with that as well.
Good to hear. Yeah. Hopefully it is quite intuitive. Yeah, it is quite an intuitive tool. We always call it kind of simple to use but powerful in its output. So hopefully, there are tons of different things you can do within Inspiration, but even if you're just using the basic tools, you can create really powerful things.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions that people would like to ask while we have the chance?
I will just put my email in the chat as well, just in case. But as I say, there's lots of links on that assessor toolkit page as well. If there's certain things, if you want a free trial or anything like that, there's links there.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, I think if there aren't any more questions, then we'll stop there. You will all get a copy of this recording sent out to you after the event, so look out for that in your emails. Thank you, Ruby. That was a really good session. Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.